This is the reel of flax fibres that I was talking about, and it's left over from an earlier skills program we did. It was procured to us by a fellow called John Martin, who used to do the pottery demonstration with us as well. I'm very indebted to John. Unfortunately, we couldn't use him this year because of COVID. But I'm just going to show you the process of actually twisting the fibres into cord, and obviously we'll do this with the nettle fibres as well whenever they're dry. So this is flax. Flax is very common, especially in the north of Ireland. It was used to make linen. Now the type of cord that I'm going to make for you now it's not going to be as fine as linen, but it's the same process really. This will make it'll make a fine enough sort of a string. It'll be fine for any garden projects or anything like that, what you might find. But it's a nice, it's actually a very relaxing pastime. You know, you can sit in front of the fire on an evening time and just kind of make this string. And again, doing this, it kind of makes you think about back into when it was made in history, and when prehistoric people were making string and making cordage. Like, you know, it's a vital piece of equipment for anything that you're doing. But again, what we found with the nettles, you know, we are kind of confined to growing season when we're using materials such as nettles. You can use brambles as well, kind of blackberries. But again, I don't know whether it's this year or whether it's just too early in the season. They're not long enough. You know, you're only getting little small shoots. You need to use the new green growth on the brambles, and they just haven't grown up enough yet. But I'll give it another couple of months, and then I might do an update video that you can see on the Archaeology of Queens Facebook page when the brambles have grown a wee bit more. So this is the flax. Yeah, quite long fibres. As you can see, it's already in a sort of string, but you'll find, you know, it's very easily broke. So we need to kind of weave it together to make it a bit stronger. You can see it just kind of falls away. So I'll take off a length of the string, of the flax fibres, and we'll start weaving the cord. Now, so I don't know how well this is going to turn out on the video, but I'll do my best. So we have a length of fibres, and really you want to kind of fold it over in half. So what you're trying to do here is make a loop. I'll try and explain this as best I can, and I hope it just kind of shows up. So what you do is you want to twist that. Okay. Keep twisting and twisting and twisting until it does that. Until it makes that little kink. Okay. So you've got a little kink in your fibre, and you just want to hold that in your left hand. Now I'm saying hold it in your left hand, that's because I'm right-handed. So obviously if you're left-handed, you hold it in your right hand, and you'll do everything with your left hand. So I'm going to do all the kind of weaving with my right hand, and really it's just the finger and thumb of your right hand is what you use. Now it's a simple process, and it's a case of twisting the top one here away from you, and then folding it back under the bottom one, so then bottom comes top and top becomes bottom. Okay, so just demonstrate that. You twist it away and then fold it back and pinch with your left hand. Twist away, fold it, twist away, fold it, twist away, fold it. All the time you're pinching with the thumb and finger of your left hand See what you're doing, you're actually braiding it together and you're creating string. So it's a case of just repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. You can actually get quite quick once you get used to what you're doing. Fold it. Just away. Fold it. Twist away. Fold it. Twist away and fold it. Twist away and fold it. There are videos on YouTube that you can look up about this, and they probably explain it a wee bit better than what I can. So if you're having difficulty following me, just look it up on YouTube as well. Will Lord, a well-known flint knapper from England, has a great series of videos on how to make cordage or how to make string. So if we're going by the timer on the way phone here, I'm going about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I've created that string. So you can see the fibers are holding themselves together. It's not wanting to unravel. So it is just a case of keep going, and keep going. So it's nice to sit down with a cup of tea or a glass of wine in front of the bake-off or whatever you like to watch in an evening. And you kind of almost get into a rhythm. Oops. You get into a rhythm and you kind of forget about what you're doing. And sooner or later, you will have string. Just remember, pinch with your left hand, top string, twist away from you, fold under, so bottom becomes top. Then you twist, fold under, twist, fold under, twist, and fold under, twist, and fold under. Okay, that's the basic process of it. That's how you make string. Okay, so it's been a couple of days now since we took the outer bark off the nettles, and you can see, despite the weather, that they are all dry now. And so when they dry, they kind of look like this sort of material here. They look like wee bits of string, but they've actually decreased in size. All the moisture, most of the bark is actually moisture, and they've actually decreased in size by about 75%. You know, so again, that's why you want to get longer nettles, because you know they are going to shrink once you dry them. But when they're dry, you know, you can actually see the different fibers, the makeup of the fibers, and depending on the size of the string, the thickness of the string that you want to make, you can break these down, and then as far as individual little, very, very thin, you know, sort of strands. So I'll just use this wee piece here to demonstrate to you the process of doing it. It's very, very similar to when we made the cord with the flax earlier on. So just move that out of the way. So again, you've got your bit of fiber there. We go near the middle and we twist. Try and get that to focus. So we twist basically until it starts to kink. Remember, hold it in our left, pinch it. Now, flax is an awful lot easier to work with than the nettles. These nettles tend to, it depends on the grip you've got. If you've got any kind of, if your fingers are too dry, it's quite difficult to actually spin the upper strands. So sometimes if you just kind of lick your finger and thumb, it gets you a wee bit extra grip. So remember, we twist the top and then fold it over at the bottom. Twist fold, twist, and fold. And again, we just keep doing that. It's exactly the same process, and this produces a very simple weave on your string. If you look up YouTube videos, you can see other different types of weave. You know, you can make it very artistic, but for what we want it for, this is perfectly grand. So yeah, go out, get your nettles. As we get into June, July, the nettles will get a lot taller, so it'll be a lot easier to make pretty decent lengths of nettle cord. And these are great for the garden as well, you know, if you're tying up pea plants or anything like that, because they'll just, you know, once the growing season is over, you just cut them off the plants and leave them in the soil and it'll just rot down into nothing. So you just keep going and keep going. And you can see you can actually do it quite quickly once you get into the rhythm. Now, one of the things I didn't discuss earlier, and I should have, was, you see what happens when I'm running out. Now, when you're running out, I'll just work this down a wee bit more, down to the bottom. Just show how to add in. So when you're running out, it's just a simple case of taking another strand. Now you want the strand to be similar thickness to the stuff that you're working on. And that's quite similar there. And so the bit that you're running out of, you path to the top. So you can see what this part here. And you just lay that on and give it a couple of twists. And then you just carry on as normal. Now, it does mean that you're going to have like a raggedy end. I'll show you now in a wee minute. Like that, appearing. But, so, we're coming to the end of this wee piece. We need to add in another piece. Slightly thick. If you have different thicknesses, it won't weave right. Let's lay that on. Twist her again. So really, you're taking two strands and you're making into one. And because you're twisting the two strands together before you're incorporating them into the weave, you're adding strength. And so there you go. There's your nettle string. Perfectly simple then, you can tie knots to them if you want. And there's quite a strength to it. And it's just the bark of a nettle.